3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, Ignacy and Portal Games.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacore. You are listening to or watching Board Games Insider, episode 187. We're recording it on March 20th, 2021. Board Games Insider is a proud member of the Dice Tower Network. And I bet people do not remember or even know that in Ignacy's first book, Games That Tell Stories, he wrote a chapter called Why I Hate Tom Vassell. In Ignacy's second book, I was invited to write a chapter, and my chapter was called Why I Love Tom Vassell. So I ask you all, who is the hater here and who is the lover of at least Tom Vassell?
Oh, that was terrible reporting.
True story, though. True story. I got your book back here on the shelf.
That's true. Oh,
how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hear you're busy today, and we have to go really fast and things like that. Oh.
Yes, as our listeners know, I'm a sports fan, and this weekend is a playoffs in Poland for volleyball. So I'm all watching matches. So we have 45 minutes, and then I'm leaving. So let's go to the meet.
Oh, okay. Tell me what's happening at Portal Games.
News of the week for us, Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition on Game Found happening this week. As always with these time challenges, it is not yet when we record, it is already on Game Found when you are listening to this. So check out the Game Found website. Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition is a base game and especially prepared for all who want to start the adventure with the game. So there is a campaign, 4 scenarios campaign, open and play, we call it. So it teaches you how to play the game over the few steps, over the 4 scenarios, so it is easy for you finally to learn how to play Robinson Crusoe.
Very
Steven
cool.
managed to do this without the open and playing campaign.
That's right.
But
and won. I won. Second try.
But if you're afraid of starting to play this amazing adventure game, it is a perfect way to start the whole thing, the big box, the miniatures, open play campaign, supporting app that is optional but can add some background music and other interesting features. So check out Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition on Game Found this week. We are starting. Brag of the week. Finally, I get some award.
All right.
Here in Poland, Portal Games wins Grand Prix for the best publisher in Poland.
Woohoo!
It is a Vox Populi, so it is the contest that all the board gamers from Poland are taking part in the sort of the poll, sort of the something like that, and they are voting, and we were voted as the best publisher in Poland. It was very, very kind from our fans and all fans of board games in Poland. So that is a brag of the week. Pre-orders and street dates: April 8th, our first street date of the year. 51st State Moloch, new expansion for the game. If you pre-ordered from our website, you probably already have it, and you're probably already playing it. So I'm very happy for that. And the most important things from our HQ, Stronghold Undead finally goes to the final stage. The game is already in the processing of the shipment in North America. So QML is shipping to backers. All of you most likely already get notification about the shipment. And this week, we got all these stupid documents from UK and we can finally ship to UK. I cannot express how angry I am and the British government, let's say it that way, that my whole company located in Poland was cheering that we finally can ship to UK. Like how big this mess is, and that we were waiting and everybody was so terrified that we will never be able to ship to UK. Finally it happens. So all the backers in UK also already get notification and we can finally release all these copies to UK. So big week for us with that. And once again, most of the company in the home office mode because as they call it in the press, third wave. I don't like this fancy name, third wave, but it's happening. Once again, a lot of new cases of COVID in Poland. Once again, lockdown in the whole country. And my employees, most of them, once again, back to work at home office stage. So once again, difficult times.
Sorry to hear that because things are looking very, very good, amazingly enough here.
Yes, when I look at the America, I really am very happy that at least in some parts of the world, this nightmare is going to end.
Yeah. So here at the Podfather of gaming world. I want to mention again that, we set up a group on Facebook now to have chats about positivity. So if you can like the Podfather of Gaming page on Facebook, but join the group, the Podfather of Gaming group, where we just have silly, fun chats, both gaming and what's happening in our lives and things like that. So please go over and do that. And the only other thing that I'm going to mention here is that, the happy hour that I've been doing, which of course you all can come to. One of the people that come almost every week, twice a week, is a gentleman by the name of Alan D. Ernston, who's a noted designer. His biggest game was I can't pronounce Tawan Tinsuyu.
Which I think I'm publishing it. I'm not
There
sure,
you
but I
go.
think yes, I think so.
So Alan's a
In Poland.
great guy, and I see him now twice a week, and he's wonderful. And we've known each other before this all happened. But he sent games out to like lots of the people that just were on the happy hour because he wanted to just give them a little joy. So that's the kind of thing. If you join, who knows? Maybe somebody will send you something. And he sent me a copy of one of his games from about 10 years ago, Dry Gulch Junction. And I'm showing his, and and it's not even in print anymore, but he had some copies, obviously. So he sent it on his own cost, just sent it to like 20 people. Wonderful guy. Alan Ernston, you're a mensch. You're a great guy. Thank you so much for this. And thank you for joining the happy hour every week. So that's all I'm going to talk about for this week. But, normally I mention cons right now. Guess what? Gen Con is happening, but we're going to talk about that during the event deck. So let's get right into the event deck. All right. The first thing, though, to mention in the event deck here is the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund auction is live now on Board Game Geek. And it's going to be live until April 4th. So when you hear this, you're going to have about 10 days. I can't stress enough to our listeners. Please go look at it. Just go look at it. The hundreds of games that have been put up there by publishers, they do it at their own expense. They put up a game there. You can bid on the game and win. All proceeds go to the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund, which hands out about $100,000 a year to gamers in need. This is your way of donating to the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund, of which I'm on the board, as I've mentioned in the past. So go look for Jack Vassal Memorial Fund Auction 2021 in the geek lists on Board Game Geek. I'll mention it again next week, but next time you hear me, you only have a few more days. So check it out now. Try to bid on something. You might pay full price for it, but you know what? It's really for a good cause, and you don't have to pay shipping. The publishers normally pick up the shipping too. So check it out there. Gen Con is happening, but postponed by 6 weeks. So they announced this past week that they're moving from the first week in August to September 16th through 19th, 2021. And this happened with great fanfare. I was very excited by this entire thing. They're going to be doing it basically in 3 different ways. There's going to be the live event, and we'll talk about that mostly. There's going to be an online event. They haven't told us exactly what that's going to be about. And then there's going to be like pop-up Gen Con where like friendly local game stores can participate and get releases that will come out to Gen Con. That will be premiering there. They can actually get them in their store as well. Obviously, the live event is the big thing, and it's so exciting. I was in a great mood all day. They are going to reduce the attendance, to keep it safe. They're going to require various safety measures. And they haven't defined exactly, but probably masks and things like that. And obviously, by that time, many, many, many Americans at least will be vaccinated. I am going, assuming I'm vaccinated, and I'll have more information on that because I am absolutely going to be vaccinated by then, since Florida is way ahead of the curve and America is doing very well. So, Ignacy, this to me is just the tip, the beginning of our industry coming back to a place, of course, that we left over a year ago now, and a place that we want to be, right? We want to be together. This is kind of what we do. These are physical games here. We want to see each other and play them together. So to me, I was so excited when I heard this.
Yes, I'm very happy we discussed already with Lugo Finowski, Portal Games USA, our approach for this operation, because there's a lot of struggle right now on both sides. Visitors, exhibitors, of course, the Gen Con organizers, we all want to be safe. We all
Sure.
want to make this happen. And now we have all to figure out the best way. So for instance, to once again to give some perception to our listeners, how we publishers approach the topic. Right now, we already discussed with Luke if we can have volunteers who has been vaccinated. Yes. So for example, new checkbox, find volunteers not who love Portal, find volunteers who love Portal and are safe to be at our booth, etc., etc. So these are
Right.
new challenges for the publishers. Of course, the biggest challenge for the Gen Con themselves. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I will not be personally because I will not be vaccinated for in that time.
Sure.
But we hope that we will have some presence at Gen Con as well, with all the safe measures
Yeah.
possible. And I think Gen Con will be one of the first show. We will learn from this experience. We will learn how it went, and then all other following conventions will learn based on that. So it is not only important to have this first convention finally, but then learn as much as possible. So each one will be safer, safer, safer.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. So this week was the Gamma Expo, usually used to be called the Gamma Trade Show. The Gamma Expo happened, and of course, it happened virtually last year. It was the first, I'm sorry, it was the last event in the
Last moment,
industry
yep, yep,
that
yep.
actually occurred, and it was right on the cusp there. Only about half the attendees went. It still went off. No one got sick, but it was like literally right when lockdown started. This year, they did it virtually. They used this new system called Spatial Chat. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, Ignacy. It was amazing. Each attendee, like when you entered the virtual environment, you're like a bubble, a flat circle on the screen. You could be an avatar. You could turn your camera on the way like you and I are looking at each other right now, and you'd be like a little camera. You see your face in there. And as you moved around the show and you got close to somebody, you could then talk to them, because like if you're at the show and you're like within a few feet of them, you can start speaking and they hear you. If you move away, they can't hear you speak. So you could go to booths and talk to people there, and then in the booth next to that, they can't hear you, and then you can move to another booth. And then of course they had the bar. So just like in Reno, Nevada, where this was last year and has been for the last 3 years, there was the bar, and they called it, of course, they branded it. It was the Asmodee networking bar, because Asmodee paid money to call it that. And of course, Bonacor hung out a lot at the bar and just talked to people with the camera on. And it was so wonderful to again see all of my industry friends again hanging out. I wish I would have seen more people. I got to see, a few dozen though people, the times that I logged in. I did not go into the booths. There's going to be more booth time next week. So I'm going to
Yep.
probably visit the booths on Tuesday when they do this again. But great use of technology, and a big shout out, of course, to Gamma for doing this. I know, you're a big fan of Gamma, and we've been critical of them, but this was a great use of technology for this event.
Yep, I wasn't personally participating, but absolutely kudos if you say what you said, that it worked perfectly well. Absolutely kudos. I'm always whining on Gamma when they fail. If they do something amazing, absolutely respect for them. I wait for Lugo Finowski, Portal Games USA, to give me a report after Gamma, so I will know more about our perspective of Gamma Trade Show and Gamma Expo this upcoming week. So I will report on that in the next episode of Board Games Insider. I know that we were prepared. I know that we have our booth. I know that we have had some seminars, etc., etc. So I will know much more in upcoming episodes and give some report. But absolutely kudos for Gamma to create this new environment for virtual thing, and it worked perfect.
Right. The next thing is very sad, and I'm going to have a lot of problems getting through this. It was a very tearful week for me. But Brian Dalrymple, who is a longtime game retailer, Gamma officer and director, passed away this week. Not from COVID, natural causes. Had a heart attack. That was literally just a few days ago. He was actually at Gamma. I didn't get to see him there, and he passed away. He owns a game store just down the road here. I visited him twice during COVID and like back to comeback things. I was going out there and I bought stuff from him and I was posted and encouraging his store. It's a small store down in Davie, Florida. He was in Gamma for 20 years, secretary and board member since 2003. He had just stepped down 2019 to concentrate a little more on the store and things like that. This really hit me hard because it was like, not, a member of our community, and a noted member for those who are like deeply kind of inside the industry. Everybody knows Brian, and he can't be a nicer guy. So it really hit me hard. I had a rough day and a lot of tears were shed. So, rest in peace, Brian. We're gonna miss you very, very much. I don't know if you knew him, Ignacy, but
I didn't, but what I saw here is in many cases I say the same, but it is always true. So I say it over and over again. When I was a young dude and I was discovering games and becoming part of this hobby, he was already doing that. He was running this hobby, having a store, having a publishing house, helping in Gamma.
Mhm.
Without him and other people we mentioned in the past years, I wouldn't be in a place where I am now. So I always have a huge respect for all those people who were starting the hobby and working the hobby when I was a young dude, and now I'm a part of the hobby. So absolutely huge respect for Brian for his work and everybody else that we mentioned in past episodes.
Right. So this is the Asmodee portion of the program. We often have one of those, but Asmodee made all kinds of announcements, including the most interesting one was the Asmodee Group acquires award-winning Azul and the publisher Plan B Games. So just quickly to read, board game giant Asmodee Group has acquired the acclaimed publishing group and home of Spiel des Jahres winning title Azul, Plan B Games. Founded in 2016 by Sophie Gravel, Plan B Games currently boasts 18 employees across Canada and Germany and operates 4 internationally recognized game publishers: Next Move Games, Plan B Games, Pretzel Games, and Eggert Spieler, who they bought. So this was not seen, and certainly not by me. I don't know if you thought that they would be doing this, but a very interesting move, since the same person also sold F2Z Entertainment, which was the Z-Man Games Plaid Hat group, sold to Asmodee a few years back, started this company, and then gets bought again. So odd, but very interesting news. And Asmodee has picked up several big titles as well, including, besides Azul, Century, and a couple of other things like that.
In Poland, there was a lot of memes about that and a lot of jokes about what will happen with Sophie and the whole team, and if she's going to start the company. Free is a charm.
Plan C, right? Yeah, I've heard that 100 times. Yeah. I'm fairly confident that's not going to happen now, for various reasons that I will not get into right now. I'm pretty sure this is the end.
Yes, but obviously this is something that, besides the personal thing, that it was really surprised that the Plan B is sold to Asmodee. If you look at Plan B, they have Azul. Azul is the abstract game of the hobby right now. We can say absolutely straightforward. This is the most selling game in the abstract category, and it is a perfect title for Asmodee to grow this branch. So on one hand, a very obvious choice. On the other hand, as Steven said, nobody saw it coming.
A very odd occurrence overall. Yep. Maybe I'll talk more about my feelings on this whole thing at some point in the future. Ignacy
when we stop recording.
Ignacy knows some of this. Anyway, so more Asmodee. So of course, so Plan B Games, by the way, was distributed exclusively through GTS distribution. Yep. But of course, as part of this deal, Asmodee North America will now exclusively distribute Plan B Games. But they've also announced 3 additional distribution deals: Tabletop Tycoon, Thunder Griff, and Fantasia Games, all are now going exclusive with Asmodee USA's. I think it's really called Asmodee USA these days. That's the distribution arm of Asmodee in this country. The biggest games under there would be Everdell and Princess Bride, I guess, so kind of the biggest games that Tabletop Tycoon has. I'm not familiar with the other companies.
Everdell is the
Yeah.
key here. Everdell is selling like crazy. This is extremely powerful game, super popular in Poland, super popular worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Having Everdell is always a good option for distributor.
Yep. So this is another. We've seen publishers who have taken the route of, well, I'm now going to only go with these 2 or 3 distributors of the big 5, but now this is where they went with the one. So Asmodee, we don't even call Asmodee USA one of the big 5, but they certainly are. We've always had the 5. Asmodee USA is the new guy on the block, which are now doing their own distribution. Now there are companies that are going only with them. So, and that's kind of what they'll do. Asmodee will only do their games, and then they'll also take games that are exclusive to them from other companies. So there's 3 more companies that they have added. Very interesting news.
The funny Ignacy would ask Matthew Jude to create a bumper with me saying that it will happen back then in 2015. Serious Ignacy would say it worries me. I don't feel comfortable with Asmodee being publisher and distributor. I don't feel comfortable when I see that they are signing exclusive deals for distribution, and I guess this is my gut feeling. These major 5 distributors that you mentioned, they really don't feel comfortable right now in this environment. I may be wrong, but oh my God, this is extremely well realized plan over the years. We are talking about 5 years plan from the beginning, 2015, when they started doing it in Europe, and now we are in 2021, and Asmodee becomes the 6th distributor in America, and they will get only bigger and stronger.
And this is something where I've always said that, Asmodee is a plus for the industry. I've always said it's a net plus. Everything they're doing, net plus. This is the one part where I've always said, though, that there's going to be negative portions of that. And in Europe, we had already seen that, where they basically were the entire channel. They were the entire channel. They were everything from game design, game development, publisher, distributor, and even retailer. When you take over the entire segment, and distribution is a big segment, when you take over that could be a problem, because now you have too much power. I said that already in Europe, that this is going to be a problem. I know that in maybe even in some countries it's very specifically a problem already, and now it's in the US. There are still 5 publishers, distributors. Southern Hobby, I think, is almost out totally. So they're that one of the 5. They're almost gone. The other ones are still strong-ish. I mean, Alliance is still very strong. ACD is still strong. GTS is going to get very hurt by this. And PhD is a very small guy.
Losing Azul, losing Century, Spice Road, and all the titles. That's not good news for them.
It is not. It is not. I have not reached out to my friends there. Not that they're going to comment too much on it, of course, but so I'm now concerned for that tier, certainly in the US, but overall, I think these are not necessarily, this is the first one I'm going to be this is not necessarily a great thing for the hobby as a whole when you're swallowing distribution up in a big way. More Asmodee news, and this one is not good for the retailers, but it is, of course, and it is more of their distribution stuff. So this was a note that was posted on Facebook. I'm sure it's been posted in other places, but it went out to retailers, specifically their flagship accounts, they call them, which is I don't know what that really means, but it's retailers of a certain tier.
They have to have a certain number of games in the offer all the time. So there's like a list of the games that you have to have on the shelf every moment of the day, every moment of the month, and then you have this status.
Oh, look at that. How do you know that?
I read
You
some
read it.
documents because it was worrying me, because if a retailer has to have these 100 games of Asmodee, they may not have a space shelf for my Robinson Crusoe. So I was angry,
Right.
as you can imagine.
And there you go. Right. And this is the distributor
Yeah.
pushing that. Asmodee, the distributor, not a good thing. Right. So now we're getting into really bad space. Anyway, this is a note that got sent out to the flagship account holders. Please accept this as notice of the following changes that will apply to all flagship accounts beginning April 1st, 2021. There will be a flat rate cost for shipping of $25. This rate applies regardless of the order, size, or weight. So obviously they had a zero shipping cost if you would have ordered so much, but now there's always going to be a $25 shipping cost, period. Beginning May 1, the discount rate, this is big, for all flagship accounts will decrease by 4%. There will be a 2.5% fee when a credit card is used to pay invoices, except where prohibited by law. There is no fee when paid via ACH, bank transfer, or by check. And then beginning on June 1st, all accounts will be prohibited from offering Asmodee North America products on the Amazon marketplace. So you can't sell on Amazon. You can't sell their products on Amazon. Consequently, any issued Amazon authorization letters will be considered void as of June 1st, 2021. Sales on other marketplaces and from retailer-owned websites are not affected. So, of course, retailers were not happy about this. I think they're not happy almost in the reverse order that I read them, where these guys are selling a lot of product in other channels like on Amazon because they'll get a bigger discount usually. The 4%, losing 4%, basically they're going to lose 4% discount. They complain when they lose 1% and 2%. I know this because I've heard this due to the way PSI, the former consolidator sales agent for Stronghold, still is, they were not getting the full discount. They would complain all the time to me. So losing 4% discount from your distributor, very bad. They were obviously not happy. So as they making big moves in the distribution tier, not necessarily good.
Yeah. Funny, Ignacy comments that how retailers were discussing this at the Asmodee pub at Gamma, yelling at Asmodee at the Asmodee bar. Serious, Ignacy, yes, this is terrible. This is a moment when, as I always whining and being skeptical, when the big partner like that tells you will get a less discount, you will pay for the shipping, you have to say, okay, you will not negotiate. You don't have a position to negotiate. You cannot allow yourself to not have ticket to ride in your web store, in your store. You cannot refuse to have X-Wing, etc., etc. So you have to accept any deal that you will be given. And it puts retailers in a very bad position for negotiation.
Very, very, very bad. I think there's going to be a lot more on this story as the year unfolds. I'm definitely interested to see more of what the retailers end up saying and doing, but you have to carry their products and they just added to with these huge products too. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, even if Stronghold Games has a Terraforming Mars or which is amazing title. Even if I have a Robinson Crusoe Detective, I am not in position to tell retailers in America you are losing 4%. Like we are not in this position.
You're not in a position to do that. You're not in a position to tell them you must carry my game or I won't sell you anything, right? You and I was not in a position to ever do anything like that. They are. That's getting a little scary. More on that as time unfolds. So Board Game Geek made some very significant changes recently. What were they? Well, in this case, they added positions, I guess you can say. Named titles, that's a good thing, that would be in the rules of a game. And what are they? Things like developer, game developer, playtester. They added all of these other data points that you can add to a game now. These things have been asked for quite some time because, you had designer and you have publisher, of course, and people wanted, and the artist, and people wanted to know that, but they also, a lot of other people get their work gets done on a game and they wanted recognition, or people wanted to give them recognition. So this is now part of the data that can go. So you can go over to BGG and you can take one of your games who you have your name in it, say, and you can say, well, I was a developer on this game. And it says it, in the rules and stuff like that. So kudos for BGG
Yes,
coming to that point.
I recorded about this case the whole YouTube show, half an hour commentary about all these new titles and how it is important for the creators, for them to finally be respected and giving their names. And then we have a mic situations, and we had to remove this video. So I talked for half an hour pricing BGG, and then we removed the video, which was stupid. But basically, long story short, I absolutely applaud this, and I always say, for you guys, for our listeners, Ignacy is designer of Robinson Crusoe. I'm the face of the product. I'm the guy who is doing interviews. I'm the guy who is signing the game. With me, there was 10 people working on this game: developers, editors, people who write the rulebook, people who do layout of the game, people who do illustrations, etc., etc. And now, finally, when Board Game Geek is giving these names official and public, and all the people who were helping me designing my games can be listed on Board Game Geek. It's a great move. As I said, I recorded the whole half an hour video about that, and it was gone.
Very cool. Toys R Us has been sold again. This is crazy, right? We keep talking about this company. They went out of business. They changed the brand name. They changed it like this, like the third time that this company's been sold. But it's sort of just a name and a website at this point. I'm just going to make that quick statement to let people know it's still around, but it's been sold again. Very, very strange. When are they going to end and actually use this company's, brand in any way that makes any sense? Nothing, Ignacy? You don't care.
I'm just, it is always the same case. If there's a big business, if there's a big money, it will not, it is always a story behind it. And there's always somebody interested in getting this money or having some income from that. So this story will continue.
Allegedly, they still do $2 billion in sales somehow. So I don't know why that's being sold again and again. But speaking of companies who are selling a lot, but not enough to ever be profitable. And I keep saying, I'm not going to talk about these guys anymore, but I'm talking about these guys again. IDW Publishing sales decline and swing to a loss. Just briefly, I'm going to say that to you. So sales by the publishing division of IDW Media were $5.8 million, which is not a small amount, but that was down from $6.3 million of the same period a year ago. And IDW Publishing lost around $400,000 in the quarter versus a $100,000 profit in the same period a year ago. Please help me not to report on these guys again who can't seem to make money when everybody else is making money. That's all I'm saying.
I don't understand the calculation behind these numbers. I run my business in a different way.
Maybe
I don't get it. Seriously.
Maybe it's a money laundering operation. No, I'm just kidding. That's not libel or anything, please. It's just kidding. So I don't know. I'm not mentioning. Again, I'm going to say I'm not mentioning them anymore. I'm not going to mention them until they sell themselves to somebody else, which I know that's going to end up happening at some point.
Yeah, because it's a great idea to buy the business that has the losses over the past few years in a row.
They're going to do something. I don't know what they're going to do. So here's some good news, though. Games Workshop sales through independent retailers were up 32% in North America. Games Workshop reported sales through independent retailers in North America up 32% in the fiscal first half ending November 29th from 33.9 million pounds to 44.6 million pounds. That's a lot. That's about 62 million US dollars. Despite closures affecting stores in many regions, sales declined through Games Workshop's own stores from 14.9 million to 12.9 million in 2020. That brings Games Workshop's total sales through stores, independent and Game Workshop combined, in North America to 57.5 million pounds, about $80 million, up 18%. So here's a company, which is another company that is public. I'm pretty sure. No, all of a sudden,
correct.
Public. I don't know what their trading symbol is or anything like that. I should have that knowledge. Who has continued now great growth and profitability in a time where others are, of course, but when at one point in their lives, they were losing money too. So they've really made a big turnaround themselves. I'm happy for Games Workshop.
Yeah, this is a very interesting news, and you mentioned that in this news piece that they had a growth even though there was a lockdown. And all of us remember Games Workshop shines and grows when they have these tournaments and these people are playing in these stores and having these miniature painted, etc., etc. So even there was a lockdown for most of the 2020, they recorded the growth. So let's imagine what would happen if there was another lockdown for Games Workshop. They definitely change the company. I'm watching them quite carefully because my son is buying this very expensive stuff.
Yes.
So I need to pay attention. But Games Workshop today compared to the Games Workshop 5 years ago, they put so much more attention to board games. They have a ton of board games using miniatures. So this is not only a miniature game company like it used to be. Now it's a miniature company that has a wide range of board games. And on top of that, of course, licensing, etc., etc. But here we are talking about the retailers. So we are talking about these Kill Team and all other Necromunda and all other board games that are selling like crazy.
Yep. 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 So more news out of Gamma that White Wizard Games transforms, rebrands themselves into Wise Wizard Games, also reveals Richard Garfield's Riders of Chaos and 3 other games in development. White Wizard Games renamed itself Wise Wizard Games and revealed these new Richard Garfield games. The White Wizard has become a Wise Wizard, and their team has promptly updated all the company's social media channels and their website to reflect the change in name. This name change occurred as a response to community feedback, as noted by Debbie Moynihan, COO of Wise Wizard Games. Our original company name was a throwback to Gandalf, the iconic fantasy character, said Moynihan. Based on feedback from the community and our future plans to broaden our product line, we decided it was time for a change. The new name of the company will be stamped on all reprints of their titles. Also, the SKUs and the abbreviation of the game WWG will remain the same. And also with this announcement, they announced that they were going to go direct to retail for some accounts, and that accounts that wanted to do that would be given, a standard type of discount that a distributor would, and very good shipping charges for their games. So they're trying to push more games direct to retailers. Of course, that helps their bottom line. And some retailers who are close by might want to take advantage of that. Of course, they can still buy their games through distribution as well. So I know Wise Wizard, formerly White Wizard, very well. I know Debbie very well. While I'm not sure that I would have made the change, I understand that, times change and they wanted to react to the community. White Wizard was Gandalf. It was Gandalf's hat even, right? That was the entire thing. They felt that it was important to go with something different. Wise Wizard, I'm sure that people will not notice too much, but they did react to the community and what the community was saying. So good on them. I wish them all the best.
Yep. And very interesting with this, it changes the approaching retailers. As everybody who listens to our podcast for a longer time knows that in Poland, publishers contact sell to distributors, but mostly to retailers directly. So this is Poland is most cases we publishers sell directly to retailers. And when I was learning about North American distribution and how it works there, and I was always confused why not to sell to retailer. And this is how they work in America, and the country is huge. You cannot ship to particular retailer many miles away. But we can see it is not the first time we are reporting something like that some publishers try to reach retailers directly. This is not a huge movement right now, but we will see. Everybody is trying to survive in these very difficult times with the changes in distribution and trying to new ideas, new policies, and maybe trying to copy some ideas that work in Europe here.
Exactly. So one last piece of news. We have so much news here. We're going to take one more piece. That Terraforming Mars on iOS and Android had its servers suspended temporarily, and this was due to issues with upgrading their back-end servers, but only not for Steam apparently, but only for iOS and Android. They posted on Asmodee Digital posted this, excuse me, on their Facebook page, and they've been updating it. And they talked more about why it happened, and it simply was an upgrade problem. Even the biggest company who's got to maintain servers or have someone maintain their servers could have a problem. As of 3 days ago, this had not been fixed as of March 17th. That we're recording on the 20th. I do not know if it has been fixed. Maybe I should have gone onto my little iOS Terraforming Mars and seen this, but it's very interesting that it obviously very public and people were screaming about it. They were really going crazy that they couldn't play because they play every day. But these things happen. Technology will happen. The problems. So hopefully Asmodee will sort it out. I'm sure they will very soon, and Terraforming Mars will be back online fully.
Yeah, I'm Slavic Ignacy, and I need to have a different nickname. But what I want to say is that exactly what Steven said. Things happen, and when I see on social media players, whining, "Oh my God, what is not working? Stupid developer, why they cannot fix it?" Dear dude, there is a ton of people probably working to fix this problem. You can live 2 days without playing this game and nothing will change in your life. You will still be a happy person. You have probably a great family, great life. Don't overthink, don't overstress some things. Developers, and this is true for video developers, for everybody. If there's some mistake, if there's some problem, there's a ton of people trying to fix it. And I remember myself when we had this problem with Detective for 2 days, something was not working. It was 2 or 3 years ago. And there was so many people contacting us and yelling at us and being angry at us, like it is our fault, like it is our goal to destroy this website. No, we are fixing it. Something happened. So please be patient. Please be happy. Please be smiled. There's so many different beautiful things in life you can do.
I can't stress enough what you just said as being truth. People just need to relax. You think that there's a conspiracy that Asmodee Digital doesn't want you to play your favorite game?
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
somebody made a mistake, or somebody simply, they made a mistake. They tried to do an update and it didn't work. Relax. Everything will come back. Play something else. Go play the physical game, and
Go for
literally
a walk.
go
Take
for
a dog. Go for a walk. Like, come on.
Literally, let me just read 3 comments here. That's not cool. I play it on my PC, but my wife plays it on her Samsung S20 every night. What's going on over there? Here's a great one. What a nice way to say F you. Another case of Asmodee Digital giving a bleep about customers. Last time it was Small World 2. Guys, really? They're just human beings. They make mistakes. You think they don't want you playing and spending money because, you buy the upgrades and things like that. You tell your friends go buy it. Relax. Don't be so entitled. Just be a human being, relax, and let's have fun playing games. Right?
And this commentary from Ignacy and Steven was not paid by Asmodee.
It was not paid. If they'd like to send me it, no, I don't get paid for doing anything anymore. So I'm my own man. Whatever I say because I'm honest about it. And so is Ignacy.
Exactly.
So everybody, just want you to know we went long on news. That's all we're going to do today. We can't take questions today. Ignacy is a pain in the neck and he's got to go watch sports.
I'm already late for my playoffs, so let's wrap it up. Go to the final scoring.
We're going to go all the way to the final scoring. We'll be back next week with more of play testing and strategy and tactics. Final scoring. Thank you all so much for listening. Help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts. To ask us questions for strategy and tactics, you must post them in the correct thread in our guild on Board Game Geek. To answer our question to you from our playtesting segment, also go to our guild on Board Game Geek and look for the thread with this episode's question. Board Games Insider has a Facebook page, so please like us on Facebook, Also on Facebook, please like Ignacy's page and Steven's page /Portal Publishing and /Podfather Gaming. Our websites are portalgames.pl, portalgamesus.com, and podfathergaming.com. Please go there, sign up for our newsletters, and get up to the minute information on what's happening at Portal Games and with the Podfather. On social media, you can speak directly to Ignacy and Steven. It's on Twitter at Portal Games US and at Podfather Gaming. Same on Instagram. On YouTube, the channel names are Portal Games Movies, Portal Games Gameplays, and the Podfather of Gaming. We hope to see you soon. Conventions are coming back soon. Board Games Insider is professionally edited by Matthew Jude from This Game is Broken podcast. If you would like him to edit your podcast, please contact him on Twitter or email at thisgameisbrokenpodcast@gmail.com. Special news. I go today, and I'll be quick. Bonacor, starting Monday, 2 days from this recording, is eligible to get his vaccine here in Florida. They're going down to 50 years old. So both Paula and Steven are going to make an appointment immediately and get that vaccine so that we can get back in the game and be ready to meet you guys coming up. Ignacy?
I wish I was as old as you.
That's the only time you want to be older, when you can get a vaccine. So Ignacy, go watch your sports.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Appreciate you listening to us or watching us, hopefully on YouTube. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.